I've taken some time away to move into a new space. When I was at the end of my renunciation, I donated, I think, over 90 to 95% of my things, and I moved in with my father. And the energy was just shifting. A big company bought the building I was in for, I think, 11 years, and everything was moving, and it just felt like the right time for me to kind of start coming out of renunciation. And I think moving in with my father helped that happen because I hadn't lived with anyone in years. So when I was there, probably in the middle of the year, in the middle of 2020, I looked at a couple places, but because of the pandemic, it felt really awkward and the energy just wasn't right to move at that time. But now that things are shifting again and the vaccines are rolling out and things like that, it felt like a better time to transition to a new space. So I've just taken some time to pack and organize and readjust. So today's topic is writing a schedule, and that's why I wanted to address this topic right now, because I've been in a different stream of activities and experiences, and I'm in the middle of making a new schedule so that I can balance everything and get organized. I'm writing, I'm doing some copywriting for a company, and I'm editing my first book for adults, and I'm a crossing guard, and there's one more thing that I can't remember. So these are kind of like newer activities, like being a crossing guard and the copywriting position. So I've kind of not been editing my book as much in like the last few months. I don't think that I've done any editing on it besides mental stuff that I've just been contemplating. So I definitely wanted to write a new schedule to get back on track with that. And this topic is, I would say it's for everyone. Who is this for? It's for everyone. Every adult needs a schedule, and the reason is to make sure that we're incorporating self-care, that we're eating well, that we're exercising, that we're sleeping enough, that we have time for cleaning and tidying, that we have time for social activities, and also some kind of education or hobbies are really important, like that we're always studying something or reading something. And it just helps us balance not just like work and then family stuff or work and health, but it just helps us make sure that we're not falling behind on other things that are important to us, so that we don't like move into the future and then look back and regret not doing some things that we really wanted to do. So what happens when we write a schedule? There's fixed items. So if a person works a 9 to 5 position, that will be a fixed item, something that they will look forward to each week. And something else that we can make fixed is something like exercise. We can decide, okay, every morning at 5 a.m. or 6 a.m., I'm going to go for a little jog, or I'm going to do a little bit of yoga, or I'm going to stretch. And another type of fixed item is we can decide, okay, every Monday and every Thursday, we're going to cook 2 dishes so that we have that to carry forward, so that we have food for the week or whatever it is. So we can make anything a fixed item that is really important to us to do consistently. And then we can have flexible time slots. If we write a really good schedule, we can do flexible time slots. For example, we can decide, okay, every Wednesday from 7 to 9 is going to be a flexible time slot, where every week it'll be something a little bit different. that's important that week that we want to address, and that just gives it a little bit of creativity, a little bit of wiggle room. But really, it's important that we get clear on our priorities and that we stay adaptable. So when it comes to where for schedule writing, it's important that we're clear on what is done at home, what activities are done at home, what activities are related to work, where do we want to do those activities, and our errands, where are we going for our errands, and where are we doing social things. And the reason that the where is important for writing a schedule is because sometimes our transportation, our travel time can eat up our schedule if it takes a long time to get to work, or if it takes a long time to engage in certain social experiences. So by assessing our schedule and thinking about the where, sometimes we can create a better schedule by adjusting the where. So for example, if we normally meet, like go to a meetup or something that is really far out of the way, we can look for a different meetup that's closer, or we can talk to a certain friend or family member and say, well, would you be open to meeting halfway on this particular day? So that can help us with transportation time, because especially there's a lot of people that travel for an hour to get to work or an hour and a half to get to work, and just recognizing like, okay, how can we make that productive? Can we listen to an audio book? Can we do some kind of reading, some kind of like course that we can practice conflict resolution or stress management if we're going on a train? Is there something that we can do that will maintain our productivity if we have increased travel times, or if where we're going is a little bit out of the way? Are there errands we can do on the way, or are there things that we can incorporate that would make that more productive? The why, really for adults, it's in order to take on more responsibility without feeling as much overwhelm or anxiety, and making sure that we have a well-rounded and balanced lifestyle. It's for everyone, but for adults that are really like trying to take on more responsibility, or they have responsibilities increasing, but they're getting like overwhelmed and stressed out, it's really important to work on a schedule. And sometimes it'll be once a month we need to reschedule, sometimes it'll be once a week. For me, I do things like once a week, where I need to like adjust my schedule every week to just make it very, very specific. When, I would say always. I think we always need a schedule. I think adding and subtracting to the schedule regularly is really important, and allowing a few weeks for adjustment. So anything that we incorporate that's major, anything that's really important to us that might take a little bit more time, it's important to remember, okay, this habit or this skill or this activity is going to take me a week to get used to, or 2 weeks to get used to, or a month to get used to, and that's okay. How to write a schedule. What I like to do is keep a notebook for random notes. So these are just for everyday scribble notes, anything that pops into your head, any like little ideas or things that might help your schedule, or all of the different aspects that you want to incorporate into the schedule, we put in a scribbly notebook. And then when we have something that's a little bit more solid, a little bit more organized, we have a schedule that's a little bit more put together, then we can use a separate book for a finalized schedule. So this is my day planner for 2021, and this is a little bit neater, and it helps me do things with more consistency, and it looks like neater and clearer, so that it's an organized experience for the mind, that we're not getting confused looking at our schedule. And then we have time for reading, we have time for some kind of social activity after work, so that we can rebalance our energy, that we're not just like being rigid in our experience. So that's today's video, is about writing a schedule. It's something that I love doing. I'm obsessed with writing schedules. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below. And I'm sending you blessings from Toronto.